for the last couple of weeks. They're not able to call in, and especially in Canada. I don't know why the 712 number doesn't work properly in Canada. But this way, we're able to be able to have our doors open for everybody around the world. And thank you, Penny. This call is also being recorded for those individuals who, due to whether church or it is Sunday, they're not able to be on our team call. Now, for those of you that are brand new, I just want to give you guys an update or information about who we are and what we're all about. Power Team Marketing was Lou cannot hear. Lou's going to have to call in. And Lou knows the number for this. If you guys can hear me clearly, type Y in the chat box. If you guys can hear me, type Y in the chat box. Anyone who cannot, they can call in to that number. Now, Power Team Marketing was started a couple of years back. And what took place and why we really started as a organization was in America, something started to happen. Anybody with basic website skills and can create a good capture video could start their own company. And so people would join companies, and 9 times out of 10, the companies would let them down. And then you have to build your team all over again in a new company. And what we wanted to do was be able to create a winning environment with our team. And we know that people sign up with people, not with companies. So not only did we want to identify ourselves as a team, because our team is also a family, but we wanted to create an environment and a training system that everybody who joins our team has equal access to the top information and training. So it doesn't matter if I sponsored you or if you're on my 100th level. You have just as much access as everybody else and just as much training. And that's very, very important, because a lot of times people feel that, they get started and their sponsor who's starting them up just got started, so they don't really know what's going on. They don't know who the upline is. They feel like they're out there left in the cold. That's not what we want it to be about. So not only do we have our team name, but we also have training websites, videos. I was speaking to Pilar earlier today. We have individuals that are very, very visual. So we have videos on everything that you can think of. We've made a video on. And every now and then somebody surprises me and asks me a question that I've never thought of before. And when that happens, we go ahead and make a video on that. So that when you have a new person that joins your team, you're not spending 24/7 of your day, answering questions. You plug your people into the system and let the system do the work for you. Let the system do all the training. So by the time they get on the phone with you, the phone call should be about, I've got a 3-way call, or I want to schedule a grand opening, or I have a person I'd like you to close into the business. And not everything else. Now, we know some people need their hands held, and that's okay. And we're available for that as well. But please utilize the system. Now, after 15 years in this business, I've had a chance to meet some of the top earners in a lot of different other companies and take a look at the systems that they have in place. And I've got to say, by far, what we put together is far more in content than any other team out there. We have webinar presentations that take place every single day. We have training websites that has training videos that everybody can access 24/7. We have a capture page system that we've provided for free for everybody on the team on top of what the company offers. We have leaders that are able to help you no matter if you're in their direct downline or not. We have a Facebook group that teaches you, and you can interact with other people on Facebook on how to build your business online, how to market your business, and share ideas. We have files that you can download. We even have like a Facebook type group, which is our CEO's training.info site, that has our schedule of events up, and over 100 personal development training videos. One thing you'll learn about us is that we are very, very big on personal development. And I learned that the hard way. For my first 10 years in this industry, I learned how to do the business. But for the last 5 years, I spent the majority of my time on the personal aspect, the personal development side of the business. And that is what made me what I am today. I'm a good believer and follower of Jim Rohn. And I believe that you must work on yourself harder than you work on your job or your business. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And if you want more out of life than what you're given, then you must think differently than the way you've been thinking. You must make new decisions that are different than what you've been making in the past. And you must know why. So our team is very, very big on that. In fact, this coming Saturday, we will be doing our mindset training on how to be a professional. We do this training once a month, so it's about time. It'll be the February 1st. So this coming Saturday, we will have our first mindset training, I think it is, of 2014. Last night we had a very, very good training. We talked about the great wealth transfer of the industry. And we're going to get into that in a moment. But I do want to recognize one individual. We have a member that got started on our team last week, and she got promoted to star affiliate her first week in the business and is now working on getting promoted to power. And her name is Valerie. Valerie, I'm going to unmute yourself. I want you to just say hello to everybody. And let's see if your mic is working. So, Valerie.
Those are some good.
Hello,
Yeah, I'm
Valerie.
here. I'm here.
Valerie, tell all of us why you decided to join Shopping Sherlock and what it feels to get promoted to star affiliate.
Oh, I'm real shy. Y'all shouldn't do this to me. Uh, well, I talked to Noel about it a year ago, and he's come back a few times and asked me, and I've read up on it and this and that and the other, and then finally I just decided to make the decision because I checked everything out, and I thought I have joined so many things and nothing worked out. And then when I seen what this company gives, and you don't necessarily have to buy anything to get it, that was what made me join. And then whenever I seen all you had to do to move up in the company was give people something to save them money, I said, well, I can do that. It ain't every day don't come around that you can give somebody something to save money on. And I'm a real frugal person, so I'm a true believer in shopping Sherlock. So that's what got me, and that's why I'm bound determined I'm going to move up pretty quick.
All right, thank you, Valerie. Now you're on the fast track now to going power distributor, and because you hit star affiliate, we made you a video, your own video that's got your picture and it's got your website on it that you can use to market to friends and family, and they can tell that this is a legitimate business that you're marketing. So congratulations on hitting star affiliate, and you're doing it in the fast way. We tell everybody hit star affiliate in your first 24 to 48 hours. Just do your part. Sign up 2 people into the business as fast as possible and duplicate this over and over again. Matter of fact, there's a woman in Sweden who got started with us in December, and she not only hit power, but at this point, she is now earning close to $3,000 a week, less than 60 days in the business. And she's only a power affiliate. 3,000 a week. So here is Valerie's video. I'm going to play it just real quick. It's only a quick 2-minute video, and we'll continue right after this. All right, all right. That was somebody unmuted themselves. Felix. All right. All right, everybody. Welcome back. That is the video that you get once you become a star affiliate. Become a star affiliate and you get your own video. The next is for individuals that hit the power position, and I'm going to make a video for you guys once you hit power. So next thing, Valerie, for you to do is duplicate what you've done and help those two people also get their own video as well and become a star affiliate. Now, how many of you guys were on the team training last night? Now, I've been getting a lot of good feedback about that. See, here's the thing. I had a good call with the leaders a couple of days ago, earlier this week. And we as a team always look at what works and what doesn't work, what's going on with the company. And I got to tell you right now, the state of the company is absolutely fantastic. The month of January already right now is 50% ahead of November. And November was a record month for us. This is a company right now that's putting in, I don't know, almost like 800 reps a month at this point. We have a new team that got started in Sweden that's putting in over 35 reps a day is joining the business. So the company is at 20 months old now, is growing at a fast rate, having great success. But here's the deal. 90% of that growth is happening overseas, outside of America. Now, lately we have, I know in Chuck Williams' team, we have a new group from Canada that got started and got promoted to power this month. Actually, a couple of powers got promoted in like 2 weeks, and one of them in the United States. So always, for those of you that might be struggling right now, always the first question that you ask is there somebody else making it happen in this company? And if the answer is yes, that means so can you. So what are they doing different than what we're doing? Really, not that much, but there is something different that they're doing. They're spending the majority of their time building is by face-to-face. It's by having home meetings, meeting people in hotel rooms, building one-on-one. Does that mean that they're not using online? Yes, of course they're using online. They use online to meet people, and then they have a presentation, a face-to-face meeting. That's how they're building it. So if you look at any legacy company in the United States, you look at the ACN, Organo Golds, Visalis, Five Links, any of these companies, and you'll see that the majority of the way they build their business and their culture is offline, face-to-face, belly-to-belly. That's how I learned network marketing. The last couple of years, we've just really delved into the internet, because the internet allows us to meet more people at a greater range and a greater distance than your own local area, and that's perfectly fine. That's how I was able to walk off my job, was online. But we must realize that in America, we're dealing with 10 times the companies, 10 times the distractions. So unless you have some type of super hype machine up front that's capturing everybody's attention, it doesn't matter how great the value of your company. If you're building online, the people just aren't going to see it because they're not looking for long term. They may say they are, but they're not. They're looking for the quick upfront buck. Now, can you make a lot of money quick upfront in Shopping Sherlock? Absolutely. We have testimonials after testimonials showing it, that people that have done it. But in America, what gets things started here is when you create a movement. And in this business, we're dealing in an industry that nobody knows about yet. I had a talk with a good friend of mine that's in a coffee company. And he wanted to recruit me into his coffee business. And he said, Brandon, you got to understand, we're an international company. I said, so is mine. He said, yeah, but 70% of the planet drinks coffee. I said 97% of the planet is online. Huh. Really couldn't compete with that. That's a fact. 97% of the people you talk to out there is already involved in our industry. Already involved in our industry. We're going to go over a little later the script once again for everybody. So you know how to talk to people when you're talking about the business. But one thing you want to do, since you are the first to trailblaze this industry, is to become an expert in your field. Take the time to research e-commerce, m-commerce, online shopping. Pay attention to the news. Not a day goes by, because I always switch between MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, my local news channels, and I always listen to the economic sections of it, the financial section, and I'm never disappointed. All I hear is e-commerce this, e-commerce that, a great shift in wealth. So when you're talking to people, you want to paint the picture for them on how great and important this industry is, because this is what we call a recession-proof industry. What money is like, and I said this last night, and someone asked me to say it again tonight because they wanted one of their team members to hear me say it this way. But money is like a river. Money's like a river. And every single American is on this river called money. Now, where we're positioned on that river depends on our own economic status. You have the wealthy that have yachts, barges, oil tankers, with their anchors down in the river, in the middle of the river. And the poor people are sitting on the banks like Huckleberry Finn with their little fishing hook, fishing in the same river. And of course, the bigger net you have, the more money you're able to capture. But what happens when this river changes course? What happens? Well, the wealthy people pull up anchor and move with the river. See, in a good economy, wealthy people make money. In a bad economy, wealthy people make even more money. Did you ever figure that out? They say that we were still in a recession in 2013 when the wealthiest Americans gained in wealth an average of 7 to 20% increase in their wealth. 7 to 20% on average they increased, while the average American decreased by 7 to 20% in wealth. Why? Because as that river changed course, us poor people are still sitting on the banks with our fishing hook in a dry riverbed, hoping that the federal government is going to make the river come back our way. Here's one thing. It is never coming back. It is never coming back. What we have to do is move and be involved in an industry where that river is still flowing through. There is no lack of money. There is no loss of money. Money is still there. In fact, there's more of it now than ever before. You just have to position yourself where the new money is going. And where it's transferring right now is the greatest economic transfer of wealth in history that nobody knows about, and that's a travesty because it's not being hidden, or it's what they call being hidden in plain sight. Now, we see it taking place. We're all involved, but we're involved on the consumer side of this transfer. Most people don't know how to be on the other side, the getting paid side of this. Now, companies have also learned their lesson. They saw what happened to Blockbuster. Blockbuster, the internet, brought on Netflix. And what happened? They didn't take Netflix serious. They didn't adapt. They said, we'll just ride this wave. That's like the record player saying, it's okay, guys, don't worry about tape deck and CDs. Record players will be coming back. Right? Only people playing records right now is my grandpa. And he only keeps that for nostalgia. for his old records. He's got a huge record collection. And then every record player he has, and he has thousands. He also bought the CDs of those same records, but he keeps the record players. So that's what's taken place, what happened with Blockbuster. And what happened? Blockbuster Video and Hollywood Video, extinct. They're gone. They didn't adapt. Do you think Best Buy, Walmart, JCPenney's, Macy's, do you think these companies are going to go out of business? No. They're going to adapt, and it's already happening right now. And because the new economic report of the holiday season is coming in, they're in panic mode and they're shifting. They all have an online site for their stores, but none of them have spent much resources in driving traffic to their sites. Since they realize that even though we have foot traffic coming into our stores, people aren't purchasing in our stores anymore. They're window shopping, and then they're going home and buying that item online and having it shipped to them. Right? That's what's taking place. So you know what Best Buy said? It was big news last week. They came out and said they're going to spend a significant income, in other words, billions of dollars in 2014, in converting all of their shops. See, because most of you guys may have a Best Buy in every city. And they're going to turn them into warehouses, where now they're going to drive traffic to their website, and when you purchase the item from your website, their website, you're going to be able to have the item shipped to you, or you can pick it up from the Best Buy in your city. Therefore, it's going to cut down on time of shipping. Instead of 3 to 5 days, you might get it in 1 to 2 days. They're even doing this. They're doing what's called predictive shopping. Penny Kyle found this article, where now everything you do on the internet is being tracked and databased. They can predict, depending on what region or where you live, they can predict just what you might want to buy in the future before the item comes out, before you even see the commercial. So they're going to stock the stores with items that they predict you're going to buy to be ready for you to buy it. How crazy is that? That's exactly what's taking place right now up under our noses. In fact, I want to shift gears real quick, and I want to play another video for you guys. For those of you who saw it last night or didn't see it, because this ties into exactly what I'm talking about as far as Americans. Because here in America, we see it, but we don't fully understand what's taking place, but the wealthy do. Our perception of reality is far from what reality really is, which is why overseas is growing tenfold faster than we are here in America. It's because of our mindset, which is why, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. And instead of complaining about it, coming up with a solution. And that's what we're doing now with starting this movement, because we need to educate the public. But let me show you what you're going up against. Take a look at this video.
The chart I saw recently that I can't get out of my head. A Harvard business professor and economist asked more than 5,000 Americans how they thought wealth was distributed in the United States. This is what they said they thought it was. Dividing the country into 5 rough groups of the top, bottom, and middle 3 20% groups, they asked people how they thought the wealth in this country was divided. Then he asked them what they thought was the ideal distribution, and 92%, that's at least 9 out of 10 of them, said it should be more like this. In other words, more equitable than they think it is. Now that fact is telling, admittedly, the notion that most Americans know that the system is already skewed unfairly. But what's most interesting to me is the reality compared to our perception. The ideal is as far removed from our perception of reality as the actual distribution is from what we think exists in this country. So ignore the ideal for a moment. Here's what we think it is again. And here is the actual distribution. Shockingly skewed. Not only do the bottom 20% and the next 20%, the bottom 40% of Americans barely have any of the wealth. I mean, it's hard to even see them on the chart. But the top 1% has more of the country's wealth than 9 out of 10 Americans believe the entire top 20% should have. Mind-blowing. But let's look at it another way, because I find this chart kind of difficult to wrap my head around. Instead, let's reduce the 311 million Americans to just a representative 100 people. Make it simple. Here they are: teachers, coaches, firefighters, construction workers, engineers, doctors, lawyers, some investment bankers, a CEO, maybe a celebrity or two. Now let's line them up according to their wealth. Poorest people on the left, wealthiest on the right, just a steady row of folks based on their net worth. We'll color code them like we did before based on which 20% quintile they fall into. Now let's reduce the total wealth of the United States, which was roughly $54 trillion in 2009, to this symbolic pile of cash. And let's distribute it among our 100 Americans. Well, here's socialism, all the wealth of the country distributed equally. We all know that won't work. We need to encourage people to work and work hard to achieve that good old American dream and keep our country moving forward. So, here's that ideal we asked everyone about. Something like this curve. This isn't too bad. We've got some incentive, as the wealthiest folks are now about 10 to 20 times better off than the poorest Americans. But hey, even the poor folks aren't actually poor, since the poverty line has stayed almost entirely off the chart. We have a super healthy middle class with a smooth transition into wealth. And yes, Republicans and Democrats alike chose this curve. 9 out of 10 people, 92%, said this was a nice, ideal distribution of America's wealth. But let's move on. This is what people think America's wealth distribution actually looks like. Not as equitable, clearly, but for me, even this still looks pretty great. Yes, the poorest 20 to 30% are starting to suffer quite a lot compared to the ideal, and the middle class is certainly struggling more than they were, while the rich and wealthy are making roughly 100 times that of the poorest Americans, and about 10 times that of the still healthy middle class. Sadly, this isn't even close to the reality. Here is the actual distribution of wealth in America. The poorest Americans don't even register. They're down to pocket change, and the middle class is barely distinguishable from the poor. In fact, even the rich between the top 10 and 20 percentile are worse off. Only the top 10% are better off. And how much better off? So much better off that the top 2 to 5% are actually off the chart at this scale. And the top 1%, this guy, well, his stack of money stretches 10 times higher than we can show. Here's his stack of cash, restacked, all by itself. This is the top 1% we've been hearing so much about. So much green in his pockets that I have to give him a whole new column of his own, because he won't fit on my chart. 1% of America has 40% of all the nation's wealth. The bottom 80%, 8 out of every 10 people, or 80 out of these 100, only has 7% between them. And this has only gotten worse in the last 20 to 30 years. While the richest 1% take home almost a quarter of the national income today, in 1976, they took home only 9%, meaning their share of income has nearly tripled in the last 30 years. The top 1% own half the country's stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. The bottom 50% of Americans own only 0.5% of these investments, which means they aren't investing. They're just scraping by. I'm sure many of these wealthy people have worked very hard for their money, but do you really believe that the CEO is working 380 times harder than his average employee? Not his lowest paid employee, not the janitor, but the average earner in his company. The average worker needs to work more than a month to earn what the CEO makes in 1 hour. We certainly don't have to go all the way to socialism to find something that is fair for hardworking Americans. We don't even have to achieve what most of us consider might be ideal. All we need to do is wake up and realize that the reality in this country is not at all what we think it is.
Do you guys see that? The difference between perception and reality. That is why the wealthy always remain wealthy. In fact, I'd love to get a couple of feedback from you guys. So if anybody would like to share what they think about what they just saw, raise your flag. Don't unmute your mic. Just raise your flag if you'd like to share a couple of words about what you just saw, and if that kind of impacted you compared to what you've thought was taking place. And if you don't know how to raise, oh yeah, there's Penny. Penny's gonna go first. Penny, go right ahead.
Hey everybody, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
If you saw my comments, I commented that's scary to me. For the most part, it's scary because my husband had recently lost his job again for the fourth time in 3.5 years. And, we found ourselves in panic mode again. And I felt, oh my gosh, we have got to be the only unluckiest people in the planet. And we really aren't. And I had no idea that, the majority of us are in this same boat. And my goodness, if we could, as a team or a unit, take this movement to the next level, you know how many people we could help. I'm amazed and astonished.
All right, thank you, Penny. Is there anybody else they'd like to share with? All right, Victoria. Hold on, Victoria. Okay, go right ahead, Victoria.
I think lately, over the last several years, I've been having a little problems anyway with capitalism. Um, I just, I'm just having some concerns myself with so many people living in poverty. I'm hoping that you will play this again before you finish tonight. I would really like to look at this again. But thank you for sharing this with us, because knowledge is power, and when people can get some real good knowledge and real good information, we can help them to try to change their lifestyle. So thank you again. So I'm hoping you will play this again before you finish tonight.
All right, for you, Victoria, I will play it again. Anybody else? I'll take one more person. Hit that little flag on your screen if you want to or anything. That is that. Oh, there's one more person. Marciano. All right, Marciano, go right ahead.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Man, I think it's awesome. It's just something that we've been missing, and that we need to go ahead and take advantage of the fact that we have an industry that will allow us to move over, or let's say shift to that wealth area. Okay, Jim Rome said it the best. You can work full time on your job while you're working part time on your fortune. But what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to go to work, and go to work right now. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, Mr. Washington, and that's absolutely right. The purpose of me showing that is, like I said, this is the reality of where we are today here in America, and it's not that much better, if not worse, overseas. The difference is overseas people, they know their reality, and they see something like Shop and Sherlock, and they don't play. They understand the industry. They're all shopping on their mobile devices, and they see a chance to get involved in something that they've never had an opportunity like this before. Americans, on the other hand, they like to call us the arrogant Americans. I'm one of them. I'm a proud patriot. We still living like we just won World War II. and that we're the greatest nation on the planet, and haven't, digested how far we have fallen as far as our personal wealth for Americans. When you have 80% of Americans only own 7% of the wealth, that's a shocking thing. And 1% owns 40% of the wealth. Now, we're not here to change the entire economy of America. But what we can do is change our own personal economic situation and those around us by becoming part of the 1%. That means the knowledge is power. You now have knowledge that when you look to your left and your right, those people don't have. I'm a Morehouse man, and my first week on campus was what was initiation week for us. A lot of what went on I cannot share, but I'll tell you this. One thing that they told us is that you look to your left and your right, you are your brother's keeper. But when you walk out of these halls, the people in your community, the people that look like you, do not know what you know. And it is up to you to live by example and show them what they don't know. That's kind of where you are today. You know how I always say it's one thing to miss the wave when you're standing on shore. It's a complete other thing to miss the wave when you're in the water. So you guys now have the knowledge that this is taking place, and you have a solution. Remember a couple weeks ago we went over feel, felt, found. How to have a conversation with people. So forget about the internet. Forget about all the other money programs. Forget about, the competition. The fact that people think this costs too much money. In fact, this costs less money. When you have the conviction of what it is that you're doing and the confidence behind it, 249 is not an issue. You don't have 249, you need to go get it. Your life depends on it. Why? This is the greatest economic shift, and it doesn't happen that often. You can be positioned. You need to hear what it is that I'm sharing. You're too busy doing other things? Fine. I'm on to the next. And all it takes is a couple of few people that spark off the momentum for this to go viral. So our message is join the movement. So let's talk about becoming a customer. Now I'd like to take a volunteer. No, I don't have enough time for that. We'll do that next week. But I'm gonna go over the psychology of why this customer strip works. This customer strip, as well as the distributor strip script, is over 50 years old. All right, I didn't make this up. It has just changed over the years depending on what company you're a part of. So here is the version for Shopping Sherlock. Always remember that people like to buy, they don't like to be sold. So here's number one. Could you do me a huge favor? I just got started in my own home-based business and I'm working on getting promoted. Could you please help me out and be my customer? The best part is that it will not cost you anything. Our product is free. Thank you very much. That script is for friends and family. Why is it for friends and family? Because these are people that will help you out when you're in need. These are people that you've probably asked to borrow money from, that you've probably asked to help you move, to help babysit, to take you to the airport. They owe you a favor or you owe them a favor. And you're now getting started in your own home-based business and you're working on getting promoted. Why wouldn't they help you in getting promoted? If somebody says no to me, and I tell them that I just need a couple of customers to get promoted to the first position of Star Affiliate and Power Affiliate, and it's free, and you're telling me you're not willing to take the 15 seconds to do so, we have a problem here. Houston, we have a problem. Don't ask me to take you to the airport. You can't help me out for something that's free. You signed up on Facebook and it was free. You signed up on YouTube, it was free. You use Google and it's free. You mean you can't sign up with my own business for free? We have a problem. But that's not likely to happen. Everybody you know is going to, yeah, I'll help you out. It's free? Yeah, sure, why not? And then you know what happens next? They use the product. Like, whoa, I saved some money. Let me tell everybody about it. Same thing goes for the second one. Here's the second one. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever bought anything online before? Yes or no? Yes or no? What do you think the answer is going to be? 97% is yes. What if I could show you how to save money on every single purchase you make online by giving you a free membership to a secret shopping website called Sherlock Savers? Ah. You know, my very first big break after ACN, I was a part of a company called Aisle 19. And it was an online shopping mall. Kind of similar to this, but not even close to the amount of savings. Not even close. But you know what the message was? You know what we said? Hey, have you heard the secret of Aisle 19? What? No. What do you mean? You haven't heard? It's a way to save money next time you go shopping. It's like coupons and stuff. You haven't heard of that before? No? Oh man, you're missing out. You need to take a look at this. Same concept here. And listen, let me ask you a question. Now, what if I could show you how to save money on every single purchase you make online by giving you a free membership to a secret shopping website? And it's called Sherlock Savers. Nobody knows about this. You're going to save more money than everybody else buying the same thing. And guess what? Just give me your email address and I'll get you set up in about 30 seconds. Best of all, it's free. Who's going to say no to that? If they say no, they just don't like you. And move on to the next. Here's the third one. Listen, I'm going to do you a huge favor. What was the last item you purchased online and how much did you pay for it? Really? You paid that much for it? Take a look at this. I am going to find you a better deal on the same item and then show you how you can do it yourself for free. How does that sound? You ain't got nothing to lose. Is that okay? Yes or no? Again, who's going to say no to this? See, these questions are designed to only get one response. Yes. You ask a question that you know you're going to get the answer to. Yes. And if you get a no, they just don't like you. All right? And you move on. Here's how it works for signing up somebody into the business. Same concept. Here's the script number 1. Can you do me a huge favor? I just got started in my own home-based business and I am just learning. Can you watch this quick 5-minute video for me and let me know if you know anyone who would be interested? I would really appreciate it. Penny Cow, unmute your mic. I want you to read script number 1 for me. If you're still there, Penny, unmute your mic. All right, Penny's not there. Let me go. No, Floyd, are you there?
I'm here, sorry.
All right, hold that thought, Penny. You're going to go next. Noel, read script number 1 for me. I don't think Noel's mic is working. He's unmuted, but he's not working. All right, Penny, go ahead, Penny.
Read number 1.
Read number 1.
Can you do me a huge favor? I just got started in my own home-based business and I'm just learning. Can you watch this quick 5-minute video for me and let me know if you know anyone who'd be interested? I'd really appreciate it.
Now, how did that sound? Was that easy to say?
Of course.
All right. Thank you, Penny. Now
I'm here now.
All right, Noel, go ahead. Noel, stay on standby. You're going to read number 2, and I see Margie. Margie, you're going to read number 3. So hold on 1 second, Noel. So that first script right there is friends and family again. Hey, listen, can you do me a huge favor? I just got started my own business, and I'm just learning. So you're letting them know you're not an expert yet. You're not making $10,000 yet. You're brand new. and you're not trying to sign them up. See, all you're doing is exposing this to them. Can you watch this quick 5-minute video and let me know if you know anybody who would be interested? I would really appreciate it. You know what they say a lot of times? Yeah, I would. Hey, that sounds great. What do I need to do to get involved? Or they may say, oh, I know people who shop online. I know a lot of stay-at-home moms. They love to save money shopping online, and they probably love to make money doing this. See, this is I like to call it passive aggressive. What happens when you go to a person and say, hey, I just got started my own home-based business. You need to sign up with me. Watch this video, and here's my link to sign up. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a no. In fact, 9.5 times out of 10, you're going to get a no. Before they even look at the video. People like to buy. They don't like to be sold. All right, script number 2. Noel, you're up.
Listen, I know you probably are not interested, but I heard about this company that is paying people to shop online. This company is moving real fast. So can you take a look at this quick video and let me know if you know anyone who would be interested?
All right. Thank you, Noel. See how easy that was? How did that sound, Noel, to you?
That is the approach I use about 90% of the time.
90% of the time. And you guys have to understand, Noel, next to myself, is one of the best recruiters out there. And that's a script he's using. Now, let me give you the psychology behind this script. Listen, I know you probably are not interested. See, when you're dealing with people who are in social media, they are being bombarded with business after business after business every single day of the week. And you come at them talking about a business, you're just another one in the line. It doesn't matter if you're giving away a free Lamborghini, they don't want to hear about it, probably because they're already involved in another company. So you already diffuse their rejection. Hey, listen, I know you're probably not interested. I know you're doing so many other great things. I mean, you're a superstar, you're making money, so you're not going to be interested. But listen anyway, I heard about a company that's paying people to shop online. Now, this company's moving real fast, so do me a favor, because you're such a big superstar. Take a quick look at this video and let me know if you know anyone who would be interested, because I know you're not interested. I mean, you're making a lot of money already. You see what you do there? You're diffusing and breaking down that brick wall to people. That right, Ernest? That's what you do. Here, all right, Margie, unmute yourself and read script number 3.
Listen, if I could show you how to make money every time somebody shopped online by giving away a free product, would you want to hear about it? Great. We're having a presentation on January 26th, and all you have to do is sit in front of your computer and watch.
Now, wasn't that easy to say?
Very, yes.
All right, let's give one more person a try to do that. Who else wants to read that script? Say me in the chat box. All right, Marciano, unmute yourself. Read script number 3. Marciano, Mr. Washington, unmute yourself. Yeah, where'd he go? Oh, I see him. I'll unmute you, Mark. All right, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, you can hear me?
I can hear you now. Go right ahead.
Listen, if I could show you how to make money every time somebody shopped online by giving away a free product, would you want to hear about it? Great. We are having a presentation on Tuesday. All you have to do is sit in front of your computer and watch.
Perfect. It's as simple as that. You know, the thing about this business is all about repetition. Repeating it over and over and over again. The question is, how long are you willing to wait? And doing this over and over and over again before you start to see the results. That's what separates the superstars from the wannabes. Those that have the long-term commitment. Anybody else want to try one? type me, and I'm just going to name one in random I want you to read. Somebody type me if anyone else wants to say something. Do one. Don't be shy now. This is your money basket right here. Now, Penny, you just can't name people. They've got to want to do it themselves. Anybody else that wants to do one? Hey, guys. Every Sunday, we're going to be going over this till you know this like the back of your hand. All right, Darnell. Hold on, Darnell. Let me unmute you. Darnell, all right, I want you to read customer script number 2.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever bought anything online before? What if I could show you how to save money on every single purchase you make online by giving you a free membership to a secret shopping website called Sherlock Savers? Just give me your email address and we will get you set up in 30 seconds. It is free.
All right, now I'm going to give you some feedback on that, Darnell.
You're sick. That's why your butt's sick now. Not watching the damn news.
Okay.
Out there going out there with some damn with some shorts and some flip flops.
Oh, that's
when
Chris.
At 10 degrees.
Hold on. I'll hold on. That's Chris McCoy. All right. I don't know. I just got to unmute it. All right. That's funny. All right, guys. Here's Darnell. Here's the feedback. You read it perfectly, but you don't want to sound like you're reading it. All right? You want to say what I would say as you would say it in your own words with excitement. With excitement. I'm going to give you an example here. All right? Here we go. I'm going to do that. Hey, listen, let me ask you a question. Have you ever bought anything online before? Yes or no? I know you have. What if I could show you how to save money on every single purchase you make online by giving you a free membership to a secret shopping website called Sherlock Savers? Would that sound good? Just give me your email address and I'll get you set up in 30 seconds. It's free. You see, you do it with some excitement, some emotion behind it. You believe in what you're saying. Now, of course, the first couple of times, it's going to sound like you're reading it from a script. Let me tell you, my very first time doing this is what I sounded like. Could you do me a huge favor? I just got started in my own home-based business and I'm working on getting promoted. Could you please help me out and be my customer? The best part. Wait, hold on. Yeah, the best part is that it's not going to cost you anything. Our product is free. Thank you very much. That's what I used to sound like when I first started doing the script. Now it's like this. Hey, listen. Can you do me a huge favor? I just got started in my own home-based business and I'm working on getting promoted like yesterday. Could you please help me out and be my customer? Yes, please. And here's the best part. It's not even going to cost you anything. Our product is free. Yeah, man, I said it's free. Thank you so very much. Thank you. You don't know how much that's helped me out. I'm going to get promoted because you became my customer for free. That's how it is now. You do it in a way where you don't take no for an answer. You don't even let them have time to ask 1,000,001 questions. Enthusiasm is a must. They'll do one more. Is there one more person that wants to read from the script? One more person. Type me in the chat box. Anybody else? All right, Marcus. Hold on one second, Marcus. I'm going to unmute you. Now, I want you to read script number 1 on the distributor.
On the distributor, can you hear me, Brandon?
Yes, I can, sir. Go right ahead.
Can you do me a huge favor? I just got started in my own home-based business, and I'm just learning. Can you watch this quick 5-minute video for me and let me know if you know anyone who would be interested? I would really appreciate it.
There you go. Good job. Now, here's what you guys want to do, because we're running out of time now. This script is up at www.powerteammarketing.com. powerteammarketing.com. The script is the last tab on the bottom left. Record yourselves reading this and then play it back for yourself so you can hear how you sound. Practice on your wife and your husband. Practice on your kids. I do this so much that my 15-year-old can do this as well. And I love doing it with my 6-year-old because we're teaching him how to read right. So he reads this. So practice and listen to yourself over and over again until you get this down like the back of your hand. Then what happens is, when you're talking to somebody, you already will know how to approach them and what script to use. And sometimes you may mix one part or the other, but at least you get the basics down. Now again, we are starting a movement right now. It's about joining the movement and getting positioned in the greatest economic shift in wealth in history. Now notice I'm not even talking about Shopping Sherlock. Shopping Sherlock is just the vehicle in the industry. People need to know why Shopping Sherlock is important. Why is it important? Because it's positioned right in e-commerce. That's why it's important. But a lot of people don't know that. They hear Shopping Sherlock. What is the Sherlock? That sounds stupid. I don't understand the name. What do you mean shopping online? Oh, well, whatever. I'm going to go pay that business is only $60. I'm going to go join that one because they got a nice car on the website. See, you have to really paint the picture for people to understand how big this is. When this goes viral, then people will sign up just because they don't want to be left out. But we haven't gone viral yet in America. You guys are going to be the first ones that's going to make it go viral. And because you're the first, you're going to get the benefit of the thousands of people who's going to start flooding in. I've seen this happen over and over and over again, and it is happening right now. Now in Sweden. Sweden is the fastest growing country right now. It used to be the UK, then it was Russia, now it's the Philippines, now it's Sweden. Here's a hint. There is nothing happening in South America, in the Latin languages, Latin countries. Nothing in Australia. One person, Christine, is putting Canada on the map. Wide open. All right, I want to get some feedback in the chat box. Do you guys like this new format that we're using the webinar platform to do our team call on Sunday night? You guys like that? Being able to participate? It allows you guys to see more visual. So we're going to do this again next Sunday. So you might want to have more of your team members on next Sunday, because Saturday we're going to be doing the mindset training on how to become a professional. How to become a professional next Saturday. Now, for Victoria's request, we're going to play that video, but I want to say this. This is the last week of January. If you have not become a star affiliate, you want to be a star affiliate by Friday. Do your part. Two who get two. Do your part. Don't let Friday go by without hitting star affiliate and getting yourselves registered for the Las Vegas convention. For those of you who weren't on last night, just to let you know, we have a new guest speaker that's going to be there named Laura Langmeyer. Laura is a multi-millionaire. She's an author of 5 best-selling books. She's working on the 6th one right now. She has created over 1,000 millionaires in her career through her training. She was also featured in the movie The Secret and in the book. She teaches in far better detail what I teach, the power of thought, thinking. What you think about is what you become. She is an expert. She's going to be there in Vegas, and you can sit down and talk to her one-on-one. You better believe I'm going to carve out my little 5 minutes pulling her to the side, transferring contact information. She's going to be one of my mentors on speed dial. Better believe it. But you got to be at the event. It's going to really set the stage for 2014. We're also going to be launching our new Sherlock dashboard, which is going to be like a little search box so that you don't even have to go to the website. It's automatically going to be there, which will be increasing your usage. We're going to be launching the best in social, which is going to be huge. We have 3 new videos that's going to be going out and a lot of other things. But you got to be there for that. So thank you guys for joining us tonight on our team call. I had a lot of fun with this. Thank you guys for participating. We're going to do this again next Sunday. No, repetition is the key. And here is the video again that Victoria requested. God bless and good night. Bye-bye.
There's a chart I saw recently that I can't get out of my head. A Harvard business professor and economist asked more than 5,000 Americans how they thought wealth was distributed in the United States. This is what they said they thought it was. Dividing the country into 5 rough groups of the top, bottom, and middle 3 20% groups, they asked people how they thought the wealth in this country was divided. Then he asked them what they thought was the ideal distribution. And 92%, that's at least 9 out of 10 of them, said it should be more like this. In other words, more equitable than they think it is. Now that fact is telling, admittedly, the notion that most Americans know that the system is already skewed unfairly. But what's most interesting to me is the reality compared to our perception. The ideal is as far removed from our perception of reality as the actual distribution is from what we think exists in this country. So ignore the ideal for a moment. Here's what we think it is again. And here is the actual distribution. Shockingly skewed. Not only do the bottom 20% and the next 20%, the bottom 40% of Americans barely have any of the wealth. I mean, it's hard to even see them on the chart. But the top 1% has more of the country's wealth than 9 out of 10 Americans believe the entire top 20% should have. Mind-blowing. But let's look at it another way, because I find this chart kind of difficult to wrap my head around. Instead, let's reduce the 311 million Americans to just a representative 100 people. Make it simple. Here they are: teachers, coaches, firefighters, construction workers, engineers, doctors, lawyers, some investment bankers, a CEO, maybe a celebrity or two. Now let's line them up according to their wealth. Poorest people on the left, wealthiest on the right, just a steady row of folks based on their net worth. We'll color code them like we did before based on which 20% quintile they fall into. Now let's reduce the total wealth of the United States, which was roughly $54 trillion in 2009, to this symbolic pile of cash. And let's distribute it among our 100 Americans. Well, here's socialism, all the wealth of the country distributed equally. We all know that won't work. We need to encourage people to work and work hard to achieve that good old American dream and keep our country moving forward. So, here's that ideal we asked everyone about. Something like this curve. This isn't too bad. We've got some incentive, as the wealthiest folks are now about 10 to 20 times better off than the poorest Americans. But hey, even the poor folks aren't actually poor, since the poverty line has stayed almost entirely off the chart. We have a super healthy middle class with a smooth transition into wealth. And yes, Republicans and Democrats alike chose this curve. 9 out of 10 people, 92%, said this was a nice, ideal distribution of America's wealth. But let's move on. This is what people think America's wealth distribution actually looks like. Not as equitable, clearly, but for me, even this still looks pretty great. Yes, the poorest 20 to 30% are starting to suffer quite a lot compared to the ideal, and the middle class is certainly struggling more than they were, while the rich and wealthy are making roughly 100 times that of the poorest Americans, and about 10 times that of the still healthy middle class. Sadly, this isn't even close to the reality. Here is the actual distribution of wealth in America. The poorest Americans don't even register. They're down to pocket change. And the middle class is barely distinguishable from the poor. In fact, even the rich between the top 10 and 20 percentile are worse off. Only the top 10% are better off. And how much better off? So much better off that the top 2 to 5% are actually off the chart at this scale. And the top 1%, this guy, well, his stack of money stretches 10 times higher than we can show. Here's his stack of cash, restacked, all by itself. This is the top 1% we've been hearing so much about. So much green in his pockets that I have to give him a whole new column of his own because he won't fit on my chart. 1% of America has 40% of all the nation's wealth. The bottom 80%, 8 out of every 10 people, or 80 out of these 100, only has 7% between them. And this has only gotten worse in the last 20 to 30 years. While the richest 1% take home almost a quarter of the national income today, in 1976 they took home only 9%, meaning their share of income has nearly tripled in the last 30 years. The top 1% own half the country's stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. The bottom 50% of Americans own only 0.5% of these investments, which means they aren't investing. They're just scraping by. I'm sure many of these wealthy people have worked very hard for their money, but do you really believe that the CEO is working 380 times harder than his average employee? Not his lowest paid employee, not the janitor, but the average earner in his company. The average worker needs to work more than a month to earn what the CEO makes in 1 hour. We certainly don't have to go all the way to socialism to find something that is fair for hardworking Americans. We don't even have to achieve what most of us consider might be ideal. All we need to do is wake up and realize that the reality in this country is not at all what we think it is.